Kia ora, and welcome to Thursday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect New Zealand. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news of a rare drop in bank lending in China from weak demand. But first up today, we need to report that due to a technical issue, yesterday's dairy pulse auction was cancelled prior to its completion. Meanwhile, in the US, and boosted by a very sharp surge in refinance activity, mortgage applications were up more than 10% last week from the prior week. Refinance clients took advantage of a small 10 basis points dip in the benchmark interest rate, but applications to finance a new home purchase actually fell last week from the prior week. Still, that is 16% higher than year-ago levels. And the Trump administration is increasingly worried about the outlook for their economy. Tariff costs are choking off expansion. We'll get a new GDP Now update of economic activity later this week, but it is likely to be quite soft. Now, Treasury Secretary Besant is calling for a 150 basis points rate cut by the Fed to counter the expected decline, and telling them to ignore the building inflation. In Japan, machine tool orders rose 3.6% in July, driven by stronger export orders. And in China, there's been an unexpected surprise in the release of their bank lending data for July, which was released overnight. It actually fell for the first time in more than 20 years. It fell by 50 billion yuan in July from the prior month. A 300 billion yuan increase was expected. July is often a shadow month after the quarter end, but actual declines are almost unheard of in the modern era. Overall, social funding rose, but that is bolstered by economic support measures. That commercial firms are borrowing less is undoubtedly not a trend Beijing wants to see. And the slowdown domestically and severe overcapacity has seen Chinese steel products dumped in international markets. More countries like Japan and South Korea are considering anti-dumping actions against Chinese steel, while India has several probes underway. Chile has imposed temporary anti-dumping tariffs to protect its industry. These moves come after the US and Canada imposed their restrictions. These actions against Chinese steel will no doubt get more strident unless China removes a meaningful proportion of its overcapacity. And that makes Australia vulnerable. Australia imports a significant amount of steel from China, more than $4 billion a year, with structural steel being a major category. And this is rising and a threat to local steel mills. Australia is in a tough spot dealing with China on the issue because their iron ore exports are the main Australian advantage, worth about $100 billion a year. And quality is another advantage of local steel products. There are rising concerns about the quality and compliance with Australian standards of some imported Chinese steel products. New owner-occupied loan values in Australia were up 7.2% in June from the same quarter in 2024, but the number of new loans was only up 0.2% on the same basis. This reflects the frothy housing markets in many state capital cities. The biggest value increases were for owner-occupiers who weren't first-home buyers, with these loan values up 9.8%. Volumes for that group were up just 1% though. First-home buyers in Australia are the weakest borrowers, shut out of their housing markets. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.24%, down 5 basis points from yesterday at this time. And the price of gold will start today at $3,353 an ounce, up $6 from yesterday. But American oil prices have fallen another $1 to be just under $62.50 a barrel, while the international Brent price is now just on $65.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is now just under 59.7 US cents, up 10 basis points from yesterday. Against the Aussie, we're also up 10 basis points at 91.3 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're holding at 51 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just on 67.3 and up 10 basis points from yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $121,559 and up 1.9% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been modest though, at plus or minus 1.3%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.